Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into two really critical AWS services if you're building responsive applications, EventBridge and CloudWatch Events. Our mission. Let's try and cut through the jargon, figure out which one you should actually use and why, especially, if you're just getting started with this whole event-driven idea. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Imagine you're building, say, a busy e-commerce site. A customer places an order. Now, suddenly, you need to update inventory, maybe send a confirmation email, ping your analytics system, perhaps trigger a loyalty update. How do all these separate pieces talk to each other reliably, efficiently, without becoming this tangled mess?
That's a great example, actually, because it highlights exactly why we need something called event-driven architecture, or EDA. With EDA, instead of services constantly poking each other, they just react to things that happen, these discrete events, like that order being placed. Think of it like components broadcasting signals. Hey, I finished this order.
Yeah.
And then other interested parts just listen for that signal and do their own thing. What's really cool here is how this lets everything operate independently. It boosts scalability, makes things more resilient, much more agile.
Right, decoupling things. So let's start with the older one, CloudWatch Events. In our e-commerce example, maybe this is good if you just need to react to something simple inside AWS, like an alarm if a server's disk is full.
Exactly. Or maybe a scheduled task like cleaning up old log files every night. CloudWatch Events was foundational, and honestly, it's still a perfectly good, often simpler choice if your needs are strictly limited to those internal AWS resource changes. Think an EC2 instance starting or stopping, or just setting up basic scheduled tasks, like cron jobs, essentially. It's cost-effective for that specific AWS internal automation niche. Its rules for matching events are simpler, fewer routing options too.
Okay, so good for internal AWS stuff. But what if things get more complex? What if that order event needs to trigger, I don't know, a third-party shipping service? Or update a CRM that isn't even in AWS?
Now you're talking EventBridge territory. That's the real evolution here. It's like upgrading from an internal office memo system to a global communication network. You've really hit the key difference. EventBridge ramps up that event-driven power significantly. It doesn't just handle AWS service events. It brings in events from SaaS partners, think Datadog, PagerDuty, Shopify, loads of them. And crucially, your own custom applications can send events in too from anywhere.
Okay, so much wider input.
Much wider. And coupled with that are these really powerful JSON-based rules. You can filter events based on their content with incredible precision. So you could say, only trigger the shipping notification if the order status is completed and the customer region is North America. Really granular control.
That sounds way more flexible.
Yeah.
You also mentioned something called a schema registry. What's an event schema, first off, and why is managing them automatically a big deal?
Great question. It tackles a huge pain point for developers. A schema is basically just a contract or a blueprint for your event data. It defines exactly what fields an event will have, like saying an order-placed event must have an ordered and a customer name.
Okay, like a data structure definition.
Exactly. And EventBridge's schema registry can automatically discover these schemas from the events flowing through your bus, and it stores them. This isn't just neat, it's a game changer for teams working together and for maintaining things long term. Fewer integration mistakes, less time spent figuring out data formats. Honestly, before registries like this, you wouldn't believe how much time was wasted just debugging because someone changed an event format slightly. This helps prevent that.
Got it. That sounds incredibly useful.
Yeah, and EventBridge also lets you create custom event buses. Think of them as dedicated channels for different parts of your application, or maybe for different tenants if you're building a multi-tenant SaaS, like giving different brands on your e-commerce platform their own event lane.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. What's the bottom line here? CloudWatch Events. Simple, reliable for internal AWS things, scheduled jobs, your trusty internal toolkit. EventBridge, the modern powerhouse. Connects everything, AWS, third parties, your own apps, smart routing, schema management. It bridges all the gaps.
That's a perfect summary. And the advice from pretty much everyone, especially for beginners, is clear. For new projects, you should really default to EventBridge. Its flexibility, those integrations, the schema support, it's just significantly more powerful for building proper, scalable EDAs.
Is it much harder to set up, though?
Surprisingly, no. Getting started via the console is pretty straightforward, and it scales automatically, handling huge volumes of events without you needing to manage servers or anything. Both services charge per million events processed generally, but EventBridge often gives you more, bang for your buck considering its capabilities and how much developer time it saves.
Right. It definitely feels like EventBridge just opens up way more possibilities for building these flexible, modern systems. It's more than just a service. It feels like a different way of thinking.
It really is. And maybe the thought to leave you with is this. Consider how shifting to this event-driven mindset using something like EventBridge can fundamentally change how you build and think about your applications. It lets you react instantly to almost anything happening, not just inside AWS, but across your whole digital ecosystem. It empowers you to build systems that aren't just robust today, but ready to adapt to whatever comes next.